The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has identified taxes on equipment imported for the use of construction projects as a threat to their operations. The Chamber is of the view that these taxes are a disincentive for private companies who wish to expand. Here is more on AM Business.
The pace of expansion in Ghana's construction industry has been relatively slow in recent quarters, reflecting subdued investor and consumer confidence amid rising inflation, currency fluctuation, and disruption in merchandise trade. The Global Markets Research in 2021 said the industry was expected to register marginal growth in 2022 as a whole of just 0.9% in real terms, down from 5.7% in 2021. Growth is expected to pick up steadily in 2023 to 2.3% and then accelerate to an annual average of 5.3% between 2024 and 2026. But players within this sector say the growth projected by the Global Market Research may not be achieved with government introduction of the new free taxes, especially the growth and sustainability tax.
If we talk about the tax introductions in the country and its effects to we the industry players, in as much as the manufacturing sector is also being suffocated or being choked with tax being passed, the same applies to us as well, because as a construction industry players, we deal directly with the manufacturing sector and then the financial institutions as well. So anything that affects them affects us adversely. So immediately there is introduction of new taxes in the industry, automatically our businesses are also affected one way or the other. Because for instance, if you should go and bid for a project possibly last year, that you are on site, that's supposed to have been taking 2 years to do. Now, with the introduction of a new tax, automatically the goods and services within the industry will definitely rise. So if that happens, it will affect the build-up of the rate that you have in the your contract document. So if you are not very careful, care is not taken, you may finish the work, but you run at a loss. So that's the reason why most of the times you see that most construction project doesn't see the completions, because the prices of the goods in the market has skyrocketed, and then the contractor cannot match it with the existence. So therefore, he needs to go for renegotiation. So if the client is not ready to at least adjust to that upwards increase, definitely the contractor may walk out of sight, because he wants also to break an even, not to run a loss at a go. So definitely, as we speak now, any tax introduction in the market affects us, especially the exchange rates, the how do you call it, the import duty, the freight, all those things. For instance, today we are witnessing the launch of a new product of CMAF. It's a good product that has been introduced to the market. But the question is, if they are clearing the freight, the the import duties and what have you, all those things, they slap it on the product, it makes the price also a little higher. And we, the contractors, we normally go and purchase these items. So that tells you that the prices of our product, that is the construction works, automatically also increases. So we are hand in hand, just like egg and chicken affairs. So anything that affects the manufacturing sector, it affects construction industry as well. Anything that affects the financial sector affects the construction industry as well. So that's our challenge now.
According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the construction industry's value add fell by 1.1% year-on-year in the first 2 quarters of 2022, falling from 6.8 billion Ghana cedis in January to June 2021 to 6.7 billion Ghana cedis in January and June 2022.
Clear that professional engineering practitioners should be used in all construction projects and the like in this country. We at the engineering institution, the Ghana Institution of Engineering, are determined that the practice of engineering in this country should be held high. The standards of practice should be held high. And we want to discourage this kind of practice and ensure that everybody goes by the law. So we want this to take the full course. We want to get the law to run the full course and get to the root cause of the issue, so that these things will not be recurring in future. Well, the law is clear on that, so I will not talk about that for now, but our interest is to make sure that this incident doesn't happen again. construction projects, concrete buildings, 3-story high. It's not rocket science. And if you use the right professionals, you use the right materials, and you employ the right kind of supervision and design, you shouldn't be having problems like this.
In 2020, the real estate sector, which is a component of the Chamber of Construction and Industry in Ghana, contributed around 1.6 billion Ghanaian cedis, roughly $260.3 million to the country's gross domestic product. This was an increase from the preceding year when approximately 1.4 billion Ghana cedis, roughly $230.2 million were registered. Except a few decreases visible within the period observed, the real estate sector followed a rising trend in terms of GDP contribution.
So GDP from the construction sector in Ghana decreased to 3049.46 million in the fourth quarter of 2022 from 3249.13 million in the third quarter of 2022. That's according to a data by the Ghana Statistical Service. In 2021, infrastructure construction was the largest sector in Ghana, with commercial, industrial, residential, and others. 2 years ago, the construction and market size was valued at $13.2 billion in 2021. This is expected to achieve an average annual growth rate of more than 4%.
That's why Casa Bazaar, we have chipped in to help and do that job.
Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Chamber of Construction and Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, says most of their operations have been ground to a halt due to the numerous taxes imposed by the government.
You see, we can easily reduce importations of building materials, which place almost 82% of the building materials we have in the country here. That has monopoly over the construction industry entirely. So what must we do? We need to at least look inwards by adding value to the raw materials that we have here. But the challenge we are having as an industry, most of the times you realize that the consumers here themselves, they complain that the locally manufactured products are higher than that of foreign the imported ones into the market. Why should it be so? Because of the tax, utilities as well. So after the manufacturing within the country, you compare to that of the imported ones, you realize that the market here, the locally produced one is quite a little higher than that of imported one. So most of the times, out of preference, they go for the foreign one, leaving the local manufactured one, and which is also affecting the local industry. So without that, it will be a little difficult. So government must look within to see what exactly it can do to give tax waiver to the local manufacturing companies. Let the companies at least receive some incentive so that they can produce for us to be able to buy. If not so, we'll have the companies, the manufacturing sector well established, one district, one factory, which is laudable. But after production, what next? Who purchases them?
However, players in the real estate sector are also bemoaning the high interest on lending rates by some local banks. According to the president of Casa Bazaar Building and Construction firm, John William Adele, these local banks should be cushioned by the government to support the sector.
Surely there is still some challenges to face, cost of the materials, cost of the labor and other things are there, but we still going forward little by little. We are lucky to have a very different business model. Ours, we don't build house to sell. We don't work to get the land. You have your land. So when we are working, we know who the customer is.
Everywhere that the factories are being situated, definitely the factories are going to employ the local, the communities, and then other experts, and then the associated graduates that supposed to man those particular industry. But the industries are not producing, they are not breaking even, they'll fold up. If they fold up, unemployment will increase, and that is what you are seeing as a country now. So government must look inwards. Where it has gotten to now, it's beyond government alone. It should bring the key stakeholders to the table. Let us judge among ourselves, come out with the proparables, find solutions to the issues on the table before us, and then I believe we are good to go. But if government want to handle it solely, that is where the failure comes in.
In all of this, the Chamber of Construction and Industry is calling for a policy-driven agenda to promote locally made building materials. Thus, they believe will reduce the cost of production.
Lending rate as we speak now is 38% per annum. How can you go and borrow money 38% per annum? Let's take it, you have a contract that travels to 2 years or 3 years. So 38 times 3. So by the time you finish, all your profit, everything away. What kind of business is this? How can you break an even out of this? It will be very difficult. So government must look within and then see exactly what we can do. What exactly is the issue? We have the think tanks among us. Let's call for stakeholder engagement, dialogue among ourselves, come out with the proposals. I believe with all of the stakeholders, the shareholders and everybody involved, we can solve the problem. That is a home group policy that will bring to the table. If that happens, it will be difficult. Our major concern is about government's non-payment to contractors. Government should pay us on time so that we can also deliver quality. That is our concern.
The construction industry's medium-term outlook looks positive, supported by infrastructure investment and industrialization projects, but needs some more investment to upscale their operations. For Joy Business, James Ishen.